Hey everybody, hope and pray that you're doing well today. So we come to our word from the word. And today that word is unthinkable. Unthinkable. We told you we were sticking with the uns this week. And today as we're moving on to 2 Samuel chapter 12, if you've been reading along, as I pray that you have, you come to a very familiar passage and the affair between David and Bathsheba, and then essentially the murder of Uriah, as David has him ordered to be on the front lines and everyone removed. He may not have been there, but we know that he is the one responsible with the blood on his hands, essentially. So now in chapter 12, we see the prophet Nathan coming to David, and he comes and shares a story with him, but he's telling him as if it is a real story, if it's a real event that had happened. And as he's telling David, as people would come and tell the king things often, and especially this prophet coming and telling him, saying, "Look, you need to listen. There was this man, a rich man and a poor man, and the rich man stole. Instead of taking from his own flock, he took this one precious lamb that belonged to the poor man." And we look at David's response in 2 Samuel chapter 12 in verse 5. So David's anger was greatly aroused against the man, and he said to Nathan, "As the Lord lives, the man who has done this shall surely die. And he shall restore fourfold for the lamb, because he did this thing and because he had no pity." And then the first part of verse 7, then Nathan said to David, "You are the man." Now, it's amazing, to me that, I can do this myself. We all do this. How easy it is to pick up and point out the sins in others without first looking at our own lives. David was hearing the story, and he was outraged that this rich man would do this. And so he is basically condemning himself. He just doesn't know it yet. And so as Nathan tells him, the Lord had sent Nathan there. And it's amazing that he says, "This man should surely die." Now you imagine once as you read on in the story, and we're going to even deal with a little bit of this tomorrow as well, you think that David has this idea that this is unthinkable, to think that this rich man would do this to this poor man, and he has plenty of his own. Well, that was the whole point. David could have, essentially as king, right? He had his pick from any women. And here he chooses a married woman. And what makes it even worse, it was one of his own soldiers' wives. And you find out through the story that Uriah is more noble than King David. Now, as you look through this, I guess the point of all this today is that how often we come, and even as he says, "As the Lord lives." I know this isn't necessarily a prayer, but isn't it amazing, as we've seen throughout so many conversations and so many things that we've seen, that people will say, "As the Lord lives," right? We want to swear by God as our witness. And he said, "This man should surely die." Well, I can tell you one thing, as the Lord surely lives, he had seen everything that David had done. And I guess what we all need to take from this today is to make sure that before we're just really throwing somebody else under the bus, and really just thinking about how outraged we are at what they have done, right? It's easy to do. In the world today, we look and we say, "I cannot believe that such and such would do this. I can't believe they would do that to another person. I can't believe they would do that to their family, to their friends, to their church. I can't believe they would do that to the Lord." But as soon as we think that the unthinkable has happened elsewhere, let's be careful that we're not hearing, like the prophet Nathan, telling us, "You are the man. You are the one who is doing these things to others." Let's make sure, as the New Testament, as Jesus speaks of that same thought, he says, make sure that you clean out the whole 2x4, essentially, the log, the plank that is in your eye, before you worry about the speck that is in your brother's eye. And see, that's the thing that is really unthinkable, that we would be so quick to judge others without first asking the Lord to judge us and show us the error of our ways. The easiest way to do that? Come to the Lord in prayer and spend time in His Word. Let Him speak to you. Let His Word speak to you, and then listen and obey. That's getting beyond the unthinkable. God bless you, and I pray you have a great, great day.